All right, what is happening, guys? My name is Logan with West Desert Wheeler. We're out here tonight with my G-Speed V3. This thing has AR45 axles and element transmission. We're gonna get into more details as we run along the trail. The location we're at is what I refer to as the airport because it overlooks an airport out here. So, awesome terrain, gonna have a good time. Gonna do the car week videos, kicking off with the G-Speed V3. So this G-Speed I picked up at Spec RC. Spec RC is my local hobby shop down here in St. George, which is southern Utah. If you guys are looking for G-Speed parts, hit up Spec RC. He carries their full line of products and can get you taken care of and get you what you're looking for. So this is the V3 carbon chassis. I did not get any of the cool, pretty colors. Mine's just a standard black carbon, which, I mean, come on, black carbon's pretty sweet. These silver/white rails kind of have my eye right now, but I don't think I'm quite gonna change them just for the color. I mean, most of it's hidden anyway. Which, speaking of, I put some work into this truck as to make it look a little more scale, more than my other trucks at least. So like we've got an interior in there, got some inner fenders in the rear, inner fenders in the front, and I don't remember if I've shown this exact body on here. This body is a new one that I did not too long ago. It is a Proline cliffhanger body, and the paint is it's a fluorescent orange, and then I also did a clear pearl on top, so it's sparkly fluorescent orange, and then it's got bright silver stripes, and that's the name of the silver, is bright silver. So the idea with this car week is I kind of want to give you guys an update on what the vehicles are set up like. So we're going to go over all the details of the build and give a rundown on the trucks, and then we're going to post a video a day until I'm out of trucks, which should take about 9 to 10 days depending on what I've got running at the moment. But as far as where we're at, this is the airport like I mentioned, but I haven't driven on these rocks specifically, so I don't really know where I'm going. I'm just finding new lines as we go. So, connecting the chassis to the axles, I am using Hardcore RC high clearance links. These are the stainless steel links because I wanted a little bit of weight down low. I'm not a total nerd for weight on this build in particular, so this one's got stainless links from Hardcore RC. The G-Speed rails have the angled skid forward, which is legal in Class 2, along with the high clearance links in the rear. I run the bend closest to the skid, which gives me lots of belly clearance going up and over breakover angles, so big fan of that. See if I can get this front end up and see if we can get a peek at them in there. But then those links are hooked up to Axial AR45 axles. They are the straight axles, they are not portals. I do like straight axles on my comp trucks. So yeah, we can barely see the links under there, but they are Hardcore RC, and the bend, like I mentioned, is towards the skid plate side of things. Sitting on the skid plate is an element transmission. It is the Stealth X-Trans, very similar to, ouch. Very similar to an Axial 3 gear, except for the element has overdrive in it. So this transmission, I am running 11% overdrive through the transmission, and I've also got an overdrive in one of the axles, giving me a total overdrive somewhere around the 20% range, which I like for my comp trucks. In the front end of this truck, the suspension setup is 4-link rear and 3-link front. So I have a chassis mounted servo that is sitting in the Team Garage Hack dual servo mount, so I can run a servo for steering as well as a servo winch right up in the nose of the truck. I was going to do the G-Speed winch mount, but decided I didn't want to drill into my chassis and run the wires all around. The TGH DSM dual servo mount really worked out well, and it puts both servos weight up front above the front axle, which is a good place for weight. I like forward weight is good. Depends on how much weight is up top on the nose. That's not always a great thing to have a bunch that high, but for 2 little servos, I'm gonna go ahead and take it. So for the winch, or I guess the steering servo, is a Savox brushless monster servo. I usually leave a link to those down below, so that is an affiliate link. You can pick one up and it will help my channel out. And then for winch duties, we've got a Reefs 299 LP winch, which is a shorty winch, and it worked out just great in the DSM. Yeah, that was cool. That was an awesome line. And that winch is really strong. I have no complaints. Super easy to just plug in and set a couple endpoints and you're ready to rock and roll. You can change your speed by adjusting your endpoints. So I had a spare set of Axial, I believe these are like 90 or 96 millimeter shocks laying around, and that's what I went ahead and used in this build. So the shocks are nothing real special, but they work. On top of that, I'm also using Deez company shock bands, which are an elastic band that help the nose from lifting, but still allow full articulation because they are elastic. They're not limiting straps. Think of it as a limiting strap that doesn't limit your articulation. They're pretty cool. So be sure to check out Deez company on Facebook and Instagram. Dustin over there is from Utah, and I've wheeled with him quite a bit. He's a great dude, and I highly recommend his products because they're awesome. Because Dustin gets out and wheels all the time, he knows what to use and what not to. And then speaking of Utah locals, we've got another one in here in this truck. Let's talk wheels and tire setup on this. So on the tires, I'm using Proline Crawler in the G8 compound. They are my go-to tire. I use those on 3 or 4 rigs now. I just love their performance out here on the sandstone. They really hook up. The G8 lasts a long time, and once it scrubs in, break away that leading edge, it really starts to hook up well. As I'm fighting for traction right here. So just trying to get balanced without getting thrown off the line. And then in those tires is 816 Garage Jelly Donuts. So they're a 3D printed tire insert. These are the best 3D inserts for anti-side hill roll that I've tried to date. And I've tried 3 or 4 different kinds now, and Jace's fight side hilling the most. They are a little bit on the firm side, so they work best for a heavier truck. Although this guy is not like a pig, it's somewhere around 5 pounds. I think a 6 to 7 pound rig would be really ideal. I don't get quite as much tire deflection as I would like. I guess deflection's not the word. My tires don't squish as much as I would quite like on this truck. But they hook up and they do great. I mean, this thing crawls up some wild stuff. Let's see if we can hop up to this next grab point. There it was. So 816 Garage on that back window right there. That is from Jace. He's in Salt Lake. So thanks for the products there, Jace. They're pretty freaking awesome. Like I mentioned, the best performing 3D insert that I've tried for side hilling for sure. And if you get the right weight on top of these bad boys, they're a weapon, man. Jace was able to take his truck, which he was running Jelly Donuts, to our Utah North vs. South finals and ended up snagging 3rd in Utah with his Jelly Donuts. So pretty awesome performance there. Cannot deny it. Let's try and hook our sidewall on that. And then wheels on this thing are, man, these things are pretty. These are Spec RC wheels. So you guys heard me mention Spec RC quite a few times. I try and leave a link to them in all the videos where they appear. Spec RC makes custom CNC wheels. They are based out of California. And Alex over there does an awesome job making wheels and lots and lots of designs. I think he just cracked 150 different wheel designs. So if you guys can't find a wheel you like over at Spec RC, I don't know if you like wheels. So all sorts of different styles reminiscent of classic wheels and new wheels and custom and RC only that you'd never see in real life. And then these wheels are super sick. I'm not exactly sure which model these were, but I like the custom gray on there. So the way it works is that he opens books and he has like an order window where you have to get your orders in a specific time. So his website shows out of stock, but that's not true. In reality, he just is running books and makes them in batches, basically. So one of the standout features on this truck is the motor flip kit on that Element Trans, and my motor sits lower than my high clearance front links. It's forward and low, which is where you want all of your weight. And then because the motor is flipped and it sits in front of the transmission, that leaves an opening underneath the transmission, and that is where I run my battery. So really cool setup there. And the motor that I'm using is a Hobbywing 2-in-1 Fusion, Hobbywing 2-in-1 Fusion system. I believe this truck has the 1800 kV flavor in it, although It's got some pretty good punch. I wouldn't mind trying one of the 2300, what do they call them, the Pros, something like that. A little bit shorter, but a little more wheel speed on there as well. And I tell you what, Fusion is one of my all-around favorites for just crazy low speed control. Super smooth. Whenever I hear somebody say that like brushed provides smoother wheel speed than brushless, Fusion would be my argument to that. Just, I mean, you can make these things creep, dude. And standing it up on its nose. And speaking of the nose, we're going to take a look at one of our last little details out here. This front bumper with fairy lead was made by my buddy Cameron over at Desert RC. Thanks so much, Cameron. I really appreciate that, dude. Yeah, you can see my motor and my power button sitting right there. I've also got a little light bar tucked up on the skid near the drive shaft. So when someone asks me about building a G-Speed kit and about which truck to purchase to do it, I'm always torn because I really like the Element transmission because it has included overdrive and it's smooth and it works like a 3-gear, lots of gearing reduction. Not that there's anything specifically wrong with the Axial 3-gear, but it just doesn't offer the overdrive like the Element does. And then on top of that, I really prefer Axial axles over Element axles. I think they're stronger. I like the steering setup design more. And so I've kind of designed my ultimate truck here. Oh man, it spit us out. Because I've got Axial AR45, so I get the full good steering range and strength of Axial along with the upgradable overdrive and underdrive gears in the differentials there. But then I've got the Element transmission for the smooth, quiet control with the additional overdrive. So I could go up to like 30% overdrive in this truck if I really wanted to. And then the skid works with either transmission, so not a big deal if you put the Axial 3-gear in there, but you can get up to 30% overdrive with Axial axles and Element transmission, so that's why I have that set up in this truck. Oh, also the Element, I can do the motor flip kit, which is a big reason why I built this truck, was to get that motor flip kit set up in my comp rig. So for this build in particular, I definitely need to thank Sky RC Hobby Shop, Spec RC, as well as Axial. All three of those guys really helped make this possible, so I greatly appreciate it. Yeah, this truck is awesome. I really enjoy it. It's built for Class 2. I need to get out and run it in some more Class 2 comps. My name is Logan with West Desert Wheeler. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching. We will see you guys in the next one. Keep the rubber side down.